Okay, yay! All right, I'm so excited. So, Jackie is killing it in Canada right now, and I wanted just to start off by hearing your story. I know I've met you before, but a lot of people on the Zoom don't know who you are. So, I want them to just hear a little bit about your story and how this business has totally changed your life, and then we'll get into your amazing tips.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. Like, it's honestly such an honor, and I'm so excited to talk with you guys tonight. So, my name is Jackie. I am a 27-year-old mom of two, and I am from Western Canada. I have been in this business for almost 2 years. So, March will be my 2 years. And you guys, this business has changed my life drastically. I started this business as such a skeptic. I had watched somebody do this business online for 3 years. And I was always that person that said I didn't need this opportunity. I didn't have the time. I wouldn't be good at it. I had previously failed in another company. And I just was telling, myself all these reasons why I couldn't be successful in it. And, the lady that I was watching her post, and she was so consistent. She was showing me, day after day after day, like what this business was doing for her, the little wins to the big wins, getting her nails done. And I was sitting here working 60 hours a week, like, man, I could never get my nails done, and I was watching her post that she could get her nails done because of this business. And then I watched her, retire her husband. I watched her, be home with her two daughters. And eventually my situation changed, and I think that's so important to share, because there's so many people that start this business and they get no, or they get told, that someone doesn't have the money to sign up, and you get so, I don't like to use this word, but discouraged. But what you don't realize is, people are watching you, and when their situation changes, they're coming to the people that show that they're serious about this. And too many people start and stop and start and stop, or start and then just stop. And this lady was the one that was so consistent. I had friends come and go through this business, people that I knew, people close to me. And I eventually, I was so sick and tired of working 60 hours a week. I was working my corporate job. I was serving at night. I literally had no time. We had no money. My partner, my now fiance, was, working the railway, gone over 300 hours a month. We just literally were struggling. We could barely keep our head above the water. So I joined with her, and I didn't really have much idea of what this business could turn into. I hoped that if I could make a couple $100s a month, that would just make me so happy. And it's, I feel some people, they're scared of not making $10,000 a month, but really the success to me was in just a couple $100s to take that stress off, put groceries on the table. That was the amount that was going to keep us above water. And so we jumped in, and, the first month it took off really slow, and nobody was, biting. And I share all this because I don't know if any of you guys are new in this business, but it's so common to, especially when you're building a business on social media, that it's not an instant traction. People needed to see that I was serious. People needed to watch me be consistent. But my mindset with it was this time right now and the next year and last year, like it's gonna pass anyways, regardless. In my mind, I was like, this time is going to pass regardless if I do this business. And, I didn't have a plan for myself to go back to school, or I wasn't working in a job that I thought was going to give me huge raises every single year. So I just put everything I had into this business, and, I pushed all the self-doubt aside, all, what everybody else was saying around me, that I wouldn't be successful, that they knew people that tried a business like this. I literally just put my blinders on, and I got to work. And it changed our life very quickly. Our first month we made $30, and I was like, yeah, like went to the gas tank, put $30 in my gas tank. I was so pumped. But then, the next month it was paying for groceries, and I just kept going. The momentum just kept going. And, then all of a sudden it was replacing a part-time job a few months later. So I was able to quit my serving job. And as a new mom, that was unbelievable to me, because that meant I was no longer putting my time at a restaurant away from my baby to make the couple $100s I needed. And then when I caught that vision, I kept going. And then a couple months later, I was able to quit my full-time corporate job that I had worked at for 8 years. And, when I had thought of my future, that was my career. That was what I was doing. And it was so crazy to know that something that was from my phone that I could do with my babies at home now replace that. And since then, now I've been able to quit both my jobs, and we've been doing it full time. I've been able to bring Mike home from the railway, which has been huge for us. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the railway, but it's awful. Like their schedule, lack of schedule, gone for 30 hours at a time, home for 30 hours, always tired. Like he was always the necessity income for our household. And because of this business, you know, I was able to bring him home, and now we have 2 kids together, and we have a, you know, almost 3-year-old who has never had a better relationship with his dad. And our 8-month-old daughter, McKenna, only knows both of her parents home. And you guys, this business has changed everything, you know, for in all aspects of my life, not just financially. Like, I mean, I have a laundry list, you know, I've been able to pay off debt that wasn't in the picture for years and years and years. We've been able to start a savings account. We've been able to buy 2 new cars, been able to travel, which is something we've never, Mike and I just went on our first vacation like last month. We have never in our life been able to travel. And this business has given us that opportunity. You know, the personal development, the friends it has brought us, the growth. This business has blessed our lives in so many ways. And I'm so like just passionate about letting every single person know, especially if you're in this business, that there is no difference between you or anybody else that's having success. Like you deserve everything this business can bring to you. And that's pretty much, I mean, my story in a nutshell. Like I said, I could go on forever, but to say the least, in the last 2 years, if you had said to me 2 years ago, in 2 years, your life is going to have all these qualities in it, I would have never believed you.
I love that. And I think that you said a lot of things that people on the Zoom needed to hear, because we do have a lot of new people and they don't really know what to expect, right? So like they come into this and they're like, oh my gosh, like my mom and dad didn't order for me. My sister that I thought would order for me didn't order for me. And like, crap, like what am I going to do? Like people don't want this stuff or like whatever. They start to have all these doubts and fears, and they're skeptical, and then they like go from like being so excited to like, oh crap, like what if this doesn't work out and all that stuff. So I had that, and I used the mom and dad example because my mom and dad didn't order for me for 2 years in this business. I was a double diamond before my parents placed an order as a customer, so which is fine. But like a lot of people get scared whenever they think that the people that they think are going to help them and support them and be excited for them aren't. They're like, oh no, maybe this isn't for me. So if you're out there and you feel like that, hear what she said, you know, like everybody is different, and it's okay if that first month or those first like, you know, few weeks or whatever, people that you thought would help you don't, or people that, you know, you're posting on social media, you're being consistent, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about these products, and you feel like you're not signing in as many people as you should. Stick with it, because she didn't either, right? And like I remember, you know, our goal still is 4 customers in your first month, and right now it's 5 with the extra shopping spree or whatever, but we have 4 customers. If you got 4 customers in your first month, you got a $100 shopping spree. Well, I was like, dude, I want that $100 shopping spree, because I knew that I was going to use some of the products and I was going to sell some of them to run my auto shipment the next month. And so I was like, I have to have that shopping spree. Well, I got 3 customers pretty quickly, and they were like randos from Facebook that I didn't even realize I was still friends with. And I know that's probably how a lot of y'all got your customers too. And then I remember texting my enroller and saying, I have 2 days to get another customer, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Like, I was like, what happens if I don't? And she was like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And on that last day, I got my 4th customer. And like, people look at, you know, top income earners or presidential diamonds, and they're like, oh my gosh, like it was always so easy for them. But I want y'all to hear that I barely made that goal of getting 4 customers in a month. So if you're one of those people, you're like, well, I'm on like my 3rd week and I only have 2, like keep going. It's okay. Like there's no penalty for not getting those 4, but shoot until the very end and like run through that finish line and continue to like post and be consistent. Because like she said, there's so many people that she knew that did this business, but then like were in and out and quit and came back and then just quit and like never came back. And she went with the person who's the most consistent. And I guarantee you right now, you are not the only person on someone's newsfeed who does this business. So what sets you apart? Like, how do you stand out from somebody else? Like, you want those people who you talked to back in August and September, if you were in this business, then you want to be the person that they come to out of all 3 people on their Instagram or even more, who they're like, okay, I really want to lose weight. That Morgan girl or that Jackie girl, you know, they are always posting. They posted about that Thermophyte X. Let me go talk to them about that. You want to be the person that they think of. And you've got to be consistent to be able to do that. Another thing that you said was that they posted about small things and big things, like your enroller did, about things that they were buying with this business. And then you did the same thing. And I think that a lot of times too, like new people or people that haven't been able to, you know, buy a Tesla and, you know, buy like $1 billion house in cash and stuff. They're like, well, I don't have a story to share. Like, I don't really know what to say. And I get that. But at the same time, you do have a story to share 100%, because your story is what this business will do for you. And if you've been in for a day, I always tell people to talk about the friendships, talk about how much fun you're having. You can talk about that. That's not even money. And there are people out there that would join this business just for friends or just to have more fun because they just want more of that in their life. So if you're posting about, you know, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun already, just joined this business 2 hours ago and I've already met my, like another friend and we're talking, and like you can do that like right away. And you talked about gas money at first, then groceries. I did the same thing. Then I replaced my part-time job and my full-time job. That's why I was like smiling so big when you were saying that. I was like, we literally have the same story. So it just gets bigger and bigger, but you would have never gotten to the point of quitting that part-time job had you not talked about the gas money, had you not talked about the grocery stuff, because people wouldn't have known like, oh, this girl really is making money. Like, it doesn't matter how much. People want to know that you just are making money in general. They don't really care about the amount. And honestly, I always say this too, like as people like Jackie and I, who are top income earners in the business and we make 5 figures a month, people don't believe that. So like, even if we told them, hey, we make over $10,000 a month, people would be like, no, you don't. Because they just can't fathom that. Like from our phone, like, are you kidding me? From posting on Instagram, like I do every day, you make that much money? No, you don't. So post about the small things. I still do that all the time, getting my nails done, things like that. People want that stuff. So they join for all different reasons. So, and then the last thing I wanted to say that you, talked about was like anybody can be successful in this business. I don't remember what exactly you said, but at the end, and I wrote down like, there's no predetermined success. Like, we all have the same exact opportunity when we click submit to get our starter kit, right? Like we all, Stephanie and Joel Dunn, #1 income earners, make $100,000 a month. Didn't say that wrong. That's a month. And the person who joins this business for 2 days and quits without ever posting or messaging a single person and saying that this business doesn't work and all this stuff, like those 2 people had the exact same opportunity, and one chose to run with it and one chose to give up on themselves way too quickly. So you had this option of success, but you just have to go and put the work in. So, and it is work, but we're going to talk about how fun the work is. We're going to talk about what that looks like with these questions I'm going to ask. If I can find where I pulled them up, because I think they went away again. So sorry, 1 second. Okay, so the first question is, okay, this says, how do you get over your own mindset and pushing past the doubt?
Oh, whoops. There we go. So, I mean, like I said, when I started this business, you guys, I was very doubtful in myself for a lot of reasons. What I internally thought of myself, what I had proven to myself in the past, which was not being successful at a business like this, what people were saying to me. And, you know, when you come into this business, you don't really know what's going on, but all you know is, you know, sometimes people are having their opinions on it. And honestly, I mean, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say it exactly like how I would say it to my team. How to push past the doubt is you just have to understand that any skill that will take you to the top of this company can be taught. So, you know, so many people start this business and they say, well, I'm not having any luck with customers. I'm not having any luck with distributors, or I can't do this. And for one, the first thing you have to do is take that language out of your vocabulary. If you say, I cannot do something, that is what you will get back. You have to tell yourself that you can be successful at this, because you can. This business has no prerequisite. Like, you know, you want to go be a doctor, they're going to be like, okay, did you go to school? Did you do all these things required to be a doctor? Well, no, you didn't do any of those things. So you can't be a doctor. This business, you can just decide you are going to be the successful. So that is step 1. Now you have to understand that you are going to have doubt in yourself, not just at the beginning of your business, throughout your whole business. Every single rank you are going to have times, you know, as a business owner, that's not just with this industry, that's as a business owner, you know, you're doing something that you're going against the grain. And with that comes being uncomfortable and sometimes, you know, having doubt in yourself. And that's where personal development comes in. And you have to understand that, you know, when as humans we get uncomfortable or we start second guessing ourselves or anything like that, what we naturally want to do is retract. We want to go back to being comfortable. We want to go back to being, you know, sure of ourselves in our little comfort zone. But nothing exciting happens in your comfort zone, and that's why we're here. You know, I was comfortable for 3 years watching her while I was working 60 hours a week for somebody else, telling me when I had to clock in, when I was able to go, when I was able to see my family. I was very comfortable being uncomfortable. So yeah, you're going to have doubt, but just understand that that's part of the process. Like, you're walking against the grain as a business owner. And, you know, when you have that doubt, and you know, even at this rank, like when I promoted to presidential, I was like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, well, my one hit wonder, like, and you're not. You're amazing. You deserve every opportunity that this business can bring to you. But the key is to take action right away when you have those feelings. So for me, when I'm feeling doubtful, instantly I'm, you know, listening to self-development. You know, I'm listening to The Secret, or if it's the Bible that you know, you read, or whatever, like whatever your form is. For me, like, I listened to The Secret and I understood that what I was putting out there is what I was going to get back. And it's just taking that, you know, step by step, like baby steps. Just, it's all, I think what I'm trying to say is this business is all, you've never arrived. You're never just going to get it. Like, you're always going to have things, you know, highs and lows. And I think just rolling with the punches and understanding that you are going to have times where you feel like it's not for you. But that's where you need to bring it back to having it visual in front of you, having resources that you know that you can go to, you know, listen or read or, you know, connect to other people and move past that doubt. And like, if one person can be successful in this business, there's no reason that you can't. You know, and just know, like, always knowing that, always having that in the back of your mind, like, anything that is going to take you to the top of this company is not something that you have to acquire right now. It's something that you can teach yourself. But you have to teach yourself. The key to it is, just like posting, just like messaging, just like teaching yourself to overcome doubt, or, you know, be positive, or whatever it is you're trying to do, the consistency of it. You have to treat it like a muscle. You have to use that muscle regularly. And when you use that muscle regularly, when you're plugging into self-development, you know, when you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are successful in this business, who are going to the top, who do have that right mindset, that muscle just gets easier and easier to use. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it becomes like second nature. Like, you don't even have to think about it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you talked about the word luck, and it's so funny because I hate that word. I hate that word because I don't believe in luck. Like, there is no such thing as luck. Like, I'm not here because I'm lucky. I'm here because I freaking worked for it. Like, I freaking put the work in. And there's a lot of, like, effort behind where I'm at right now. And so people are always like, well, I'm just, like, not having any luck with getting customers. No. Successful people don't believe in luck. Successful people believe in whatever it takes to get to where you want to be. So stop talking about luck. Work harder. You know what I mean? So that was one thing about luck. I hate that word. And then you said something about like action, and like whenever you feel like you want to retreat, take action. And like you should take action even more at that point. And last night, I don't know if y'all were on at like the very beginning of the family call, or like right whenever it started, Mike Patillo, he said, action creates confidence and inaction produces fear. And so that's so true. Like, if you're not doing anything, you're gonna be fearful, and you're gonna be like, oh crap, like what if I can't do this? So that's because you're sitting there thinking about it. Stop thinking about it and just go out there and put action to it. And you're gonna feel more confident because you're gonna see that, oh, people do want this. You know, that's why whenever people come to me and say, you know, okay, well, I feel like people don't want these products, I'm like, you're crazy. Mostly because you're not doing anything, because everybody wants these products. Like, I literally just signed 2 people today who wanted these products. So that's crazy if you don't think that they do. So you become more confident as you start to sign people, and you're going to sign people as you start to do more action. And then you start talking about, you know, like, you're going to have doubts, but like, you know, we all want something more, talking about your comfort zone. And I say this too, but I know there's a lot of new people, so I'll say it again. There is no plan B. This is our plan B. Plan A was whatever we were doing before this business, going to school as a full-time student, without time to have a job, or like Jackie working as a server and a mom and in corporate America, and her husband was on the railroad, you know, that was her plan A. This is her plan B. There is no plan B. This is her plan B because plan A was obviously not working. So this is her plan B. So you're going to quit plan B and go back to plan A, but you started this because that already wasn't working. So what's different that now it's going to work when it didn't before, right? So it's crazy whenever we're like, well, I'm just going to quit this. Like, why? The time is going to pass anyways, and you already tried plan A and it didn't work. So you might as well just stick with it because there's nothing negative that's going to happen by you just continuing to do this. Okay, so the next question that we have on here is, this is a specific person who asked this question. I'm going to try to get as like specific as I can because I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've kind of exhausted all of my ideas with her as far as like her situation and just like figuring out really what roadblocks may be there for her. And I know that there may be other people who feel like this now or who may look back at this later and be like, oh, that's what she said back then. Now that's going to help me in the future. But this girl just said, you know, how do you keep pushing like whenever you feel like you're stuck in this specific rank? So this girl has been in the business for a few years. She's stuck at a certain rank, and I won't say which one because it might narrow it down, but she's stuck at a certain rank and she's working towards the next rank. She's very, very, very close to it, and she's going to hit it this month 100%, but she's so positive. She does her personal development every single day. She's a great leader. She is a great enroller. She keeps her customers. She enrolls new customers, but she just feels like there's something missing where she just feels like she can't get past this like certain point in her business. And I've tried all of the different things that I know to tell her. So what would you say to her?
Well, I mean, my advice, like just listening to that, like from an outside looking in is, I mean, I would go through all like the basics first. So like, okay, how many people are we messaging a day? And then I would amp that up. Like, you know, there is so much time to do more. And I mean, for me, like I do this full time. So I don't know if this person does it full time, but when I felt like that at my business, you know, I'd gone through all my Instagram, you know, people, and not that you have to do this because I had a lot of success before I did this, but you know, there's so many people in the world and it's just a numbers game. That's how I truly look at it. So like for me, I understood, like I got that if I wanted to go to that next level, I needed to do something that I wasn't doing before. So I started figuring out what I wasn't doing and what I could physically do. So I made, you know, another Instagram account. Don't have to do that. That's just one example. But, you know, I'm listening to I don't know if you guys have heard the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I'm listening to that book right now and I love it. And it talks about, you know, getting massive results calls for massive actions. And so in this industry, in this business, what I would say if this was someone on my team is you need to do something right now that's going to make yourself differ from every other person doing this. You know, you need to assume that everybody that is on your, you know, all the eyes looking at you on your, you know, your Instagram followers, your Facebook friends, they have 10 other people doing the same thing that you're doing. So how are you going to take that massive action to be in the 5% that the other 95% are not willing to go to? So to give specific examples, what I would do is I would look at ways to start, you know, mass growing your followers and not necessarily your friends. And this is something that I've applied to my business, you know, that's really made a difference for me in the last few months. And I'll kind of walk you through what I mean by that. So for Facebook, for example, I'm not looking at just going through the motions of adding 50 friends every day. I want my followers to grow. Like it's just a numbers game. If you're doing the right thing, you're being a good leader, you're posting, you're doing all those things right. You just need more people to look at you, because if you're doing all those things, you will have the results, and there is no correct timeline. You know, you don't need to promote in a year, or you don't need to promote in a month. Like you will get there if you are consistent and you are doing what Morgan is saying, you know, you're doing. You're doing everything right. You're a good leader. You're posting, you're enrolling, you're retaining. You're just waiting for the right people to come into your business. So what I've been doing, and this has grown, you know, my followers a lot in the last month that I've been doing it, is I'm just putting myself in front of more people and instead of adding them. So I will, you know, I'm going to walk you guys through exactly what I've done. I figure out who my target market is. So my market is like moms, you know, students, any female really between the ages of like 18 and 60. I'm like, okay, where are they going to be on Facebook? So I find groups. Okay. So I'll like some of the ones that I'm in, low carb and keto groups. You know, I'm doing mom groups. I have a Shar-Pei dog, so Shar-Pei groups, baby food groups. Like I literally picked 6 topics, and then I went and added myself into groups with that topic. So for example, I added myself into like 8 keto groups out of that one category. And then what I've been doing is I've just decided like I need to give more to get people to either want to join my team or want to be, you know, my customer. So what can I give people in terms of value outside of this business to connect with them faster? So what I'll do is I'll, you know, cook a low carb keto meal. I won't cook it on, you know, I'm not sitting there doing a cooking show, but once it's all cooked, I plate it and I'm just showing people me. I'm not talking about the business, but what I'm doing is I'm doing it live on my profile. And then after I've done the live video or the picture or the post or whatever it is, I'm sharing it into each of these, you know, 8 groups for keto or low carb. Another example, baby food, like groups I've added myself into. I have like a video that I made. It's just like, I don't know if you guys have kids, but a little like teething hack. You can take those pouches of baby food and then just dip, like you just do little circle, like on a plate on wax paper, put it in the freezer, get a really quick, like a quick video, like not of me, just like literally an Instagram, like I held the Snapchat or whatever, 15-second video and I put wording on it, like teething baby, this is how you do it. Share it into groups. And I'm just getting more followers because I'm sharing content like that. You know, I'm just getting more people. And so I felt before like I was doing all the right steps. I was doing everything right. My posts were good. I was being consistent. I was a good leader to my team. I just needed more people. It's just a numbers game. And with more people coming in, seeing you doing the right thing, being a good leader and working your business properly, that right person will come to you. And I would just say another tip I have is show up to all of these things. You will learn so much just from anybody that is having success. And you don't need to be a diamond. You don't need to be a presidential diamond. If a Ruby is killing it, you want to listen to what they have to say and just be so open to like showing up to all of these things. And it is, I believe, just law of attraction. Like when you're putting yourself around the people that are succeeding, when you're putting yourself with those people, don't focus on your lack. Focus on what is going to come to your business. Focus on what other people have going on. Like, I'm not saying focus on what other people have going on in their business, but like look to the people that are where you want to be and just don't give up. Don't play that mind game with yourself like you're stuck in a rank. You're not stuck in a rank. You're doing everything great. You're just waiting for your next, you know, you're waiting for that next person to come in. And just when it's going good, work really hard. And when you feel like you're stuck, work even harder, and you will. Like the only way you will fail is if you quit. You will look back and, you know, and actually I want to add one more thing to that too, because I have felt like this in my business. Actually, I had promoted to double and lost rank for a couple months last year. And I felt like a standstill, and, you know, I had people quitting and everything was a standstill, and I was so focused on it. But what you don't know is how much your business and how much the people in your business and how much the results of your business can change in even like 4 months. Like I had showed my team of like volume from December of last year to April. And it was like if you had said to me in December, like, okay, in 4 months, you're going to have these many people promote on your team, your volume is going to be this, I would have said, no way. You can't see what's coming because they're not in your business yet. That hasn't happened yet. It's impossible for you to see it. But what you need to know is if you stick true to what you're doing, and you can't cheat the hustle, you're the only one that knows what you're doing. And if you're doing it, this success will come. You will move to that next level. You just have to be willing to do, you know, things longer than most people are able to do them for. Like fall down 7 times, but you have to make sure that you get up that 8th and just keep going hard.
I love that. You can't cheat the hustle. That's so good. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing those groups because like I added myself to groups before. But it was like makeup groups and like, hello, this is me every day. So don't even wear makeup. So like I had no like relevant content to contribute to those groups. So I like your idea of like finding, 6 things and then like really like finding all the groups about those. And it doesn't have to be like hobbies necessarily. It can just be about like who you are. So yeah, that's super cool. I'm going to work on that. Like I wrote that down, like find 6 topics. So I'll be thinking about those. Okay. And then let's see, another question was, okay, so if there's somebody out there who is like worried about what other people think, with like social media and like posting, I know there's a lot of people, especially new people always, and I felt like this too. I was like, what if I annoy people, with my posts? What if I, message people and they get like, I get on their nerves, whatever. How do you like get past that? Or what would you tell somebody who's like worried about what people are going to think about them?
Okay, this is my favorite question. Okay, so this is the stat that keeps me like so pumped up. Forbes magazine says in the next 5 years, 76 million people are going to join an industry like this, a business like this. Why? Because it's expensive to live. Moms are no longer having to choose between making an income or being home. Students are no longer having to choose between having a life or working a job. In the next 5 years, yes. Okay, so this is the thing. Whether or not you jump on this train, your Aunt Sally jumps on the train, your friend that's negative about it jumps on the train, 76 million people are going to join this business. So are you going to be the person that figures it out after the 76 million people, or are you going to figure it out now? And so what I mean by that is you can't care what people think. This is my red coming out. For one, they're never going to pay your bills. Negative people are very loud. They are never going to offer to put your kids in daycare or watch them while they're sick or pay your hydro or nothing. It will never. People's opinions will never cut you a check. And I come into this knowing that people don't understand this industry yet. They don't get it. We're still like caught up in like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. Like, no, that's like, I mean, we are as legit as Target. Like we're like this, we're just a smarter business model. And so you need to come into this with a business mindset. You are no longer an employee. And as a business owner, you need to be able to project things. And as a projection, like telling you guys what to expect at the beginning of your business when you start posting. For one, don't ever retract because of what somebody else is going to think. If your friend who hasn't been successful in network marketing is saying don't post this way, and you have your upline Morgan, who's a top earner, killing it, telling you to post this way, I don't know about you guys, but I'm taking advice from someone that's where I want to be. Okay, so that's for one. Number two, you need to understand the formula of what is going to happen with people when you put yourself out there. One, the first thing they're probably going to do is they're probably going to ignore you. You're probably going to feel, if you've just started this business, like you're posting and maybe you're messaging and you're not getting a lot of traction, okay? Once they see you, that you're not giving up, like a month later, you're still going, then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she's still going. She's still doing this business. And they might get a little bit loud, whatever. In all of that, you are also going to find so many people in this business that are encouraging you, I'm just talking about like that. I'm just talking about like the negative. Okay. But like, you're going to find people, like for every one person that's loud and negative, you got 10 people cheering you on that want to see you get to the top. Okay. Then you're going to gain interest from people, because guess what? Well, they're sitting at home hating on the internet, talking about how this isn't going to work. Maybe 2 million of those 76 million have already joined. And now they're like, okay, like, I'm sitting here, I'm working my job. They're starting to come into the realization that their plan A isn't working for them, right? And then guess who's been the consistent this whole time, regardless of the results they were getting? You've been posting. You've been consistent. You've been showing them with or without them, you are still doing this. And then they will either block you because they cannot handle your success, or more than likely they will join you. And that is truly how I feel. I cannot tell you, I'm from like a pretty relatively small, like not a small town, but small enough where people are like, when people are talking bad about you. And when I started this business, I have thick skin, but it was very hurtful. You see it, like statuses, like, oh, if it works, like whatever, right? people just don't understand it. So decide that you will be the person that doesn't just copy and paste and spam and be annoying. You're going to learn to do this the right way. You're going to learn to be the best out of the 10 that they're watching. And you don't have to be the best right now, because everything that all the skills required to be the best can be taught. So show up to these Zooms, get on YouTube, be active in your team page, learn, be intentional as a business owner how to be the best. And eventually they will join you. And even if they still don't understand, you're not going to care, because you are going to own your time. You are going to be making money with this business, and you are going to be showing hundreds and thousands of other people how to do the same thing, because 76 million is a lot of people, you know? And why shouldn't you get a slice of that? Don't, I'm telling you, it's like flip phones. You guys remember when flip phones came out, or when they went from smartphone to flip, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say? And nobody wanted a touchscreen phone. But it's just inevitable. This 76 million is going to be inevitable. This business model, if you don't understand network marketing, it's a smart business model. There's no pyramid. There's no so don't get caught up in that if you're new. Literally, it works. Huge company, huge brand, been around for a long time. Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, been up to all those places. Instead of them paying for advertising and marketing, they're paying you. That's what you're doing. So don't get caught up on anything other than that, and just know that nobody's opinion will ever, ever, ever pay your bill, and prove them wrong. Use that as your fire. Use that as your motivation. I promise you, people will come to you, but you just got to be a visionary for them first. Did that answer the question? Sorry.
Yeah.
Go off.
Yes, that was so good. Let me see. Hang on. If I have anything. I love what you said. You said we're as legit as Target, but smarter. And it's so true. I was like, ooh, dang, yes. Okay. And then, yeah, don't take advice from somebody that you wouldn't want to trade places with. All these people, and somebody today, asked me, they're a potential distributor. She was like, well, I feel like I'm going to annoy people. I'm worried that, I'm gonna get on their nerves with my posting or whatever. And basically I told her, I was like, okay, number one, people want and need what we have. You have the answer to their problems, and you have the hope that they're praying for. You'd be selfish not to share that. So I don't give two flying flips what somebody else says that's going to be so negative about anything anyways. I don't care what they have to say, because I know there's somebody out there who needs that hope, and I would be selfish not to tell them about it. That's number one. Number two, those people that are negative about this business towards you, guess what? They'd be negative about anything that you did. It doesn't matter if you go to college, don't go to college, get a job, don't get a job, have a family, don't have a family. They're going to have something to say no matter what you do, because guess what? Those people, it's not about you. It's about them. So they are going to be who they are no matter what you do. So you may as well let them talk bad about you for something that's going to change your life, because they're going to talk bad about you anyways. So why not let it be about that? So that's another thing. And don't listen to still people. Those are people that are still going to be in the same place that they are right now, and 40 years from now, still working the same job. I just saw y'all's things. That was so funny. Morgan for president. I do not want to be president. Thank you though. I appreciate it. But I lost my train of thought. This is why I can't be a president. One of the 80 billion reasons. What was I saying? Oh, still people. Those are people that are still going to be at the same job, still broke, still exhausted, still talking about, how much they hate their job, still working at the same place, still miserable. Those, don't listen to still people. Side note, those people, you know what? They can complain all they want to about what I'm posting about, but you know what I'm sick of them posting about? I'm sick of them posting about how much their life sucks and how they don't do anything to change it. That's what I'm sick of hearing about. That's what I'm sick of seeing, because what I post is hope. What we share is positivity, and the world needs more of that, and a little bit less of what they're sharing. So I'm just saying. Okay, next question. I get so fired up, but I love what you said about that too. I wrote down so many quotes. Okay, so somebody said, just tips on balancing, because I like to call it blending. I don't really like to call it balancing, because you don't really balance it. You blend it all together. But that and posting tips and stuff like that, just, kind of all rolled into one just real quick. And then I have a question that I want to ask you that I forgot to ask you. And the questions that I sent you about the island, because you went to the island, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'll hear about that after, but just real quick, just like posting tips or like anything about how to blend your life together. Cause you do this full time, but you didn't always. So
No. So, okay. So for posting, I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, there is no balancing. Like I've always like, everybody has the same 24 hours and everybody is busy. Okay. So like, you're going to be busy if you're working, you're going to be busy if you're not working. Like everybody is busy. And so finding, like for me, what has really helped, I'm very unorganized. And so I figure out what my non-negotiables are like every single day. Like every single day, I know I need to post something that's going to attract distributors. I know I'm going to need to post something that's going to attract customers. I know that I'm going to need to have, like, I call it fluff, other things that is not it works on my timeline, because I am not about to puke it works over everybody. I know that I need to keep my stories, you know, on Instagram and Facebook going throughout the day, so I'm always at the top of people's timeline. I know that I have to grow my network every single day, and that's a minimum of 500 on Instagram. That's a minimum of 50 on Facebook. I know that I have to message people every day, 50 on for host to post, and I love to message like 50 to 100 on Instagram, like every day. So I have my list of non-negotiables that I do, and it's just up to me to figure out when I can work it in, and no day looks the same. You know, text replacement, if you have an iPhone, is key. Okay. So like if you have an iPhone, and if you don't, save all your messages in your notes. Like if you feel like you're going to a job, you just don't have time to do it, you need to plan everything before you go. So have your posts set up, you know, don't schedule posts, like nothing like that. Don't use Hootsuite. I mean, in my opinion, and the reason I say that is because Facebook looks for, you know, robots and like things to mess with the algorithm. Like post organically, it takes you 2 seconds. But if you feel that you don't have the time to like write a post, have those ready the night before in your notes, in your phone. This business is all about being intentional. And you're not going to get it the first time you try it. Like you may try to blend this into your day, and it might be really overwhelming at first, but like anything in this business, you have to be willing to like fall down 7 times, get back up 8 times, right? So, you know, just have your list, physically write it down. Like if I could share my screen, I would literally show you my list. It's right in front of me. And when I come down here, I just check things off. You just need to know that the success in this business will not happen day by day. The success in this business is in what you do every day. And so when you have that list of 8 to 10 things, you just need to, nobody can tell you, like remember, this is not like, we are not anybody's employee. Like as a business owner, you need to get your list together. And if you need help with that, like obviously like that's where like you message your upline or whatever, but it's your job to get it in. You know, and examples of how I do it: when my kids are eating, I message people. When I get in the car, I follow people. Like I do things in 10-minute increments, you know. When I go pee, I follow people. And don't try to tell me that you don't do that either, because I know that everybody does that. Okay, I'm hoping so. But, you know, just finding little things, that little areas of like pockets of windows, and just know that you're going to have to sacrifice. Like at the beginning of my business, when I started, I was putting in a lot of time that was not getting paid for right away. Like I worked it out to, I made 11 cents full time my first month, an hour, 11 cents an hour full time my first month. So I was doing things different back then. Like every spare minute I had, I was watching YouTube. Like you really need to drill this into your head. Like when you're new at this, like you need to have the people where you want to go. You need to be listening to them at all times. So when I was cooking dinner, I wasn't listening to music. I was listening to YouTube. When I was driving, I was listening to personal development. I don't watch TV. Like if you're watching TV and wondering why you're not a presidential diamond, like that's where you need to start. You need to cut out the things that don't make you happy and do not make you money. And there is no BV in TV. Like you need to replace things that are not progressing you to your goal. Like if you want to be a presidential, or you want to be a diamond, or you want to be a ruby, you need to put the work in long before you get there of what a diamond looks like, you know? So don't focus on like fitting this in if you're busy. Just start, like look at your day and what can you take out? What can you take out? And you don't want to take out time with your family or your friends or your job, but I guarantee you that there is times where you are sitting there watching Netflix, and that is taken away from progressing you into your business. So like just finding little areas like that, you know, and just and once you do this, like it takes, what's the saying? It takes 21 days to create a habit. I think that's something like that. It's true. Like, do this every day and you're going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to be out of whack and it's not going to be normal for you. But like, you know, just like a child learning how to walk, when you do this enough times, you just make it work. You just make it work. When you want this as bad as you want to breathe, you will find a way to blend this or balance this or put this into your life. It's just like saying that you don't, I'm a little bit red personality. I'm trying to keep it chill here. Sorry. But you saying you don't have the time or you can't find time for it to work, it's just an excuse, because I know that there is somebody out there busier than you who is killing it. So just find the time. You cannot quit the hustle. Okay. This isn't a job where you go to the back and like fill ketchup containers for like 8 hours and like get like, you have to just be smart with you have to tell your time where to go. So first thing is get your list and then be intentional throughout your day. Whenever you have a stop, if you find yourself scrolling, not income producing. You need to be following, messaging, posting, following up.
No, we like the red. I'm very red too. So they're used to that. It's fine. And also, I did the like really good math on this before, but I just did a little bit of math too. And so let's say you like work 9 hours a day, okay, on like during the week, and it takes you 30 minutes to get to work and from work. Okay, so that's 10 hours total. Then you go to the gym for an hour every single day for 5 days. Most of us do not do that, but let's say that you did. And let's say it takes you an hour to like make dinner and eat dinner with your family. You still end up having 20 hours per week, like Monday through Friday only. And like, that's not including Saturday and Sunday, which most of us don't work those days, right? Like if you're like in a regular 9 to 5 job. So that leaves you 20 hours between Monday through Friday that you have to do something. And you can find 1 hour per day to work this business minimum. Like you can. And so if you're saying that you don't have time, it's because you're not telling your time where to go. It's going to go somewhere, so you've got to tell it where to go. And I like what you said about like 5-minute, 10-minute increments here and there. Jade Hooper calls it nooks and crannies. Find nooks and crannies in your day and do the business during those times. Like whenever you hop into the car, you know, go follow people or message 5 people before you get out. Get into the store while you're in the checkout line, follow people. Whenever you get back in the car, respond, you know, whatever. And don't get caught up in scrolling and all those things that aren't income producing, exactly like what you said. Okay, so let's see. I think that was pretty much it, because there was other questions, but you pretty much hit on what those other things are. Okay, so now, back in the summer, we had a contest. I don't know if it's called a contest really, but whatever. An incentive for the top emerald, like the top emerald builders. There we go. I was like, recruiters? No. Okay. The people in the company who enrolled the most people who went emerald in this span of time. That's what the thing was. And those people got to go to Mark's ranch, ride swamp buggies, and then the top 2, right, went to the island the next day and like got to ride the helicopter and go to the island. I got to go to the ranch. I did not go to the island. I'm a little salty about that still. I'm gonna work harder next time. But Jackie went to the island. So I just want to hear about your experience, because I actually haven't heard about it yet. Like, what did y'all do? Like, how did that day go? And like, what did you learn from Mark? Because like, you literally just got to like hang out with him, like pretty much one-on-one. Like there's only a few of you there, and you rode the helicopter. That's on my dream board. So tell me about that day. I'm so excited to hear it.
Okay, well, the helicopter is so cool. I'm like so scared of heights, and so I was like, please don't freak out. Like, please don't be the person that like cries. But no, it was super. Like, you guys, honestly, that was actually my first event I'd ever gone to. I had never like that was the first of it. Like, I wasn't even gonna go to green carpet until we found out that we won that, and then like we went to green carpet, and then you know did that whole island experience. And I actually like cried the whole time. Like every time that like Cammy would speak to me, like I was just like, I just need a minute. Like I just cried the whole time because it was so overwhelming in such a good way. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes on social media, like it's almost, you see these people and you're like, are they even like real? It's like the highlight reel, right? Like, and I mean, there's so many positives and negatives to the highlight reel in this business, but you know, when I sat down and like talked to Mark and Cindy and just saw like their heart and like just how amazing, like how much they care about us, how much their goal is to actually have us all be debt free, and what their plans are for the company. You know, just the biggest thing I took from that is myself, we are not dreaming big enough. You know, like this guy was a teacher and now he owns a $14 million island that is perfectly groomed and has omelet bars and smoothie bars and full stuff. Like it was almost like an out of body experience, like honestly. And coming back from that, I just realized like myself and like to send this to you guys, like you can have it all. You can have it all, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park, because if it was, like, I mean, everybody would be doing it. You know, there's a reason that like 95% of people work for the 5% that didn't give up. And so what I got from Mark, and sorry, those aren't actual like real stats, I just made up those numbers, but it's something like that. Like most people end up working for the people that don't give up. And what I just took from that was, you can just never give up. Like never give up on what your dream is. Never give up on what you've started here for, you know, because it's not too good to be true. Like hustle and hard work will take you to where you want to go. And Mark and Cindy are just normal people. Like sometimes we see them on social media and we're just like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like they're these like crazy people. They're not. They're normal people. They're just the sweetest people. And they care about us so much. They care about where we're going. They want us to be debt free. And they just want you to dream. They just want you to dream bigger. And they want you to like just put action behind what you're doing. And, you know, I just know that if someone like me can be there, like either like anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. And you guys, I'm just like trying to transfer it to you. Like, I don't know if you're doing this, but you need to believe in yourself. You need to stop. The only thing that's stopping from getting you to where you want to go is just the story you tell yourself as to why you can't have it. So you just need to stop the excuses and stop the things that are holding you back from just getting you to where you want to go. And this life can give you so much. This business can give you so much. And just being with them, and it was cool. It was so cool. I was like, I felt like the whole time they had picture, like people would follow you around and like take pictures. You guys know they do it at events and stuff. And every picture in my mouth was like I was just like I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe this. I'm like, they have an omelet bar. Do you guys see this? Like, it was crazy. It was so crazy. I came home and I was like, I need an omelet bar. Like, where is the omelet bar? It was so crazy. It's so crazy. And like, honestly, anytime they announce like an incentive like this, like decide you are going to go. Decide you are going to do it and put the work in every day. And guess what? The work that you do right now is the pre-launch into the results you are going to get when something like this comes out, you know? So just decide. You will be on the island. You will have the omelet bar. It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
It's true, because the people that went Emerald that counted for my entries did not enroll in that period. They had enrolled before, but I had that whole time to help all of them get Emerald. So yeah, exactly. Like if I wasn't working that time beforehand, I never would have been able to get there. And it's funny because people always ask like, well, what did you think about that? Like, how did you feel there? And the first thing I think of, like, I mean, there was a lot of things I felt, but I felt loved. Like, you just feel so cared about. Like, and it was crazy, like, how detailed they got with everything. I was like, they, like, really planned this out. Like, they didn't just, like, throw something together and be like, hey, everybody come over, let's order a pizza. Like, they, like, thought this, like, all through. And I was like, you care so much. Like, you really want us to be here. Like, you weren't just like, yeah, you can come. Like, they were just like so happy we were there. I don't know. Like, they're just the most amazing people ever. And to know that we're in the company where they're leading it, like, I feel so blessed. And there's truly no other company like this. And you learn to dream bigger just being around them. So that's another thing I want y'all to know as we get off this Zoom, is to surround yourself with people that are going to teach you to dream big, not with what they tell you, but with what they show you. Like, hanging around Cammie, she doesn't talk really that much about the business. Like, she will, and she'll talk to you about it. She'll challenge you and she'll encourage you. but her whole conversation isn't about like, oh yeah, I talked to this distributor. Oh yeah, I messaged these people and this happened. Like, we were hanging out and they were talking about a Pink concert, like the singer. And she was like, yeah, let me call my assistant and let's get box tickets. And I was like, oh yeah, we could get box tickets. Like, that's something you just like don't ever think about that. You're like, okay, what's the cheapest ticket? You know, that's what I always ask whenever there's a concert. I'm like, what's the cheapest ticket? But she was like, yeah, let's get box seats. Don't even worry about it. I was like, I could have box seats. And then like she was talking about how her kids were gonna ask for Super Bowl tickets for front row. And I was like, I can have that. You know, just like opens your mind to like this different world of like things you can have. And it's not all materialistic. They are able to give and do for other people so much more than they were back whenever Mark was coaching basketball a few miles down the road from where I live right now. He is in such a better place to be able to do those things for other people. And his heart is to give back. That's why we have the It Works Gives Back Foundation. Like, you know, you never would have been able to do that as a basketball coach. So anyway, I hope that this Zoom encouraged you. Man, I am excited. I have written notes in every like little spot on this paper because I couldn't get them all on the regular spot. But thank you so much for doing this. I know you said that you were like honored to be on the Zoom. I don't know why, but we're honored to have you on this Zoom. And we're so grateful for all your tips. And I don't know. I'm probably not going to sleep tonight. I don't think. I'm just going to go message people and put myself in groups I'm actually supposed to be a part of. Some not makeup groups. But anyway, thank y'all for hopping on here. I'm so excited. And I will have the recording up so I can just send you that whenever it's done. But I can't wait to see you at conference.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you guys too. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you, you too. Bye, guys.